Hawkeye fans, let's talk about health and performance optimization for a moment. I'm partnering with Ascent Nutrition because of its unique approach to human health. Support your cardiovascular health, your hormonal function, and a healthy libido. Check out these amazing products by clicking on the links in the description below. You're supporting this channel from the Hawkeye of the Storm and former U of I graduate, Lance Shuttler.
We won in a classic Iowa way, but I just was thinking, with Kirk Ferentz's philosophy of don't turn the ball over, after Deacon cost us at least 6 points, and last week with his number of turnovers, I mean, there had to be some thought of or at least I had the thought, we've got to see Labus or Linez come in, but It didn't happen, of course. I mean, what can you expect? But I do have a question.
Great question. If you just address that real quick, because it's a good comment. We've been hearing that, Don, that really criteria number one for the Iowa quarterbacks, and it's sort of sad, but it sort of makes sense at the same time. It's protecting the football. And There are metrics out there that indicate that Deacon Hill may be the worst in all of the FBS. The worst starting quarterback in all of the FBS at protecting the football. Now, I don't have the data to back that up, but that's been out there. We've seen that certainly against Wisconsin. There were some turnovers that literally were just dropped by the Badgers on some errant passes. We've seen 3 turnovers from Deacon Hill against Minnesota last week, one of which came on a drive that could have gotten them in field goal range for Drew Stevens, who probably could have made a 60-yarder in Kinnick for the win. And then, of course, today has another strip fumble. Iowa thankfully got it back. Throws the pick in the end zone toward Nico Ragaini. Alex brought that up earlier. He is not protecting the football very well right now, Don, and he's not being asked to do much. So Hayden brings up a fair point. Why not go to somebody else?
Well, what's the upside, right?
What's the upside? Don, tell us.
Yeah, let me find my comment here. Naked by Hill. This was late in the third quarter, I believe. Naked by Hill, pulled up, tries to use throwaway. Poor decision, should be intercepted. You remember the play I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that was a dying quill if there ever was one.
Oh,
and that ball was just fluttering out in space, and frankly, the guy should be benched for not controlling the ball because it was thrown basically right to him. He was nice enough to put it on the ground.
Right. It was one of the worst decisions I've seen from an Iowa quarterback. And I don't mean to be mean to Deacon. That was one of the worst decisions I've seen. And that's even including some bad Spencer Petras decisions.
That ball would have probably gone to the house. We'll have to go back and look at it for me to verify that. But it would have gone a significant distance, I think, down the field. Because there simply weren't any other people out there. 2 things come to mind. One is don't wear out the naked. How many times can we get by with throwing the naked? We clearly ran it one too many times at that point. Now, maybe we came back to it later. I can't remember if the touchdown came a little bit later or not. I think we had already scored, I believe. Pretty sure we'd already scored. Anybody remember for sure?
Yeah, because we scored
I think
pretty
we
early in the third quarter, so
yeah,
I believe that came after that. But yeah, it's getting ridiculous at this point. I mean.
And there was another play where he was in the grasp, if you will, and tried to throw the ball away again, and same thing. It fluttered out in space. Thankfully, nobody got their hands on it, but it was when the ball went up, my heart was in my throat because I'm thinking, this is the kind of ball that gets intercepted.
So I'm just curious, Don.
There were 2 of them in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember a second one too, Corey?
No, I don't. But the one was just as bad as I've seen. And I tweeted out, I don't normally do this. And I promise I was not trying to feed into the fan frenzy that is the backup quarterback. But I tweeted out in all caps after that play, make a quarterback change right now. Right now.
I thought it was going to be a 3-word treat. Get him out.
Get him out. I'm sitting here like Hayden thinking, what's the upside, right? What is the upside right now at keeping Deacon Hill? And I have nothing against him. He seemed like a nice young kid. He's engaged.
He's out there doing his best. Absolutely. It's his best is not enough.
Without his best judgment, though, sometimes.
But Don,
unless you can get it off the field, then you don't throw it.
if you
It's
think
not
about,
throwaway until you can throw it off the field.
I can't imagine he's got too much flexibility and independence to make changes up at the line of scrimmage. So he's running the plays that are given him. Obviously, the playbook doesn't seem too big in general, right? You talked about how many times they run naked. So if he's not protecting the football when he drops back in the pocket, he's liable to fumble. He's liable to make bad decisions when he's under pressure. He's not accurate typically in the pocket when he's got time. What would putting a guy like Linez in the game at this point? How could that possibly be worse? Would he just be dropping? Would he not be able to catch a snap? Is that how bad the quarterback position has become? I mean, at some point, logic would tell you, hey, you try something else and maybe something else works. I know that sounds juvenile in thinking, but Deacon Hill does not look to be the answer right now. And we understand the coaches are looking at these guys in practice each and every week. But man, if he's not protecting the football, I don't know what he's giving you.
Yeah, and another play that comes to mind to me is I want to say it was in the third quarter, but it might have been in the second quarter. We ran a rollout, a bootleg, and his lack of athleticism. I mean, he got chased down by that linebacker, by that end or linebacker, and it might have been the play where he threw it, to the. I think it was, when he threw it just to get rid of it, almost got intercepted. I mean,
it was the same play. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know I can say with almost full confidence that Labus or Linez probably are much better athletes than Deacon Hill. And I think that athleticism would also really help our offense. A guy that could extend plays or get out of the pocket at least.